Hi, I'm Robyn and welcome to Well Conceived Business. We help online business owners within health and wellness to create a business and life that is not only well paid, but well lived. Here you'll find honest and refreshing conversations about what it takes to create a business around your life, what healthy hustle looks like, as well as insights and tips on growing your audience, your signature program, your profit, and your peace. Ready? Let's go. What do my most successful clients have in common? This is what I'm diving into today. And if you are looking to grow your business this year, if you have big goals and want to get to the next level, or perhaps you've even been in coaching containers, signed up for courses and haven't had the results that you want, please take note, listen up, because I'm going to dive into the 5 things my most successful clients have in common. And I am speaking to some of the clients. We have had some clients have exceptional results recently in their business. And I can honestly tell you that almost every time it's these 5 things. I could say this about all of my clients. And if you haven't tuned into the last episodes over the last couple of weeks, definitely tune into those as well, because they also speak to how you can create a 6 and multi-6 figure business. So this is what we're diving into today. The 5 things my most successful clients have in common. So number 1 is they're prepared to invest. And before you're like, oh, fuck off, another person talking about like invest in coaching, whatever it is. I'm not just talking about coaching. I am talking about investing your time, investing in advertising and growth. And I'm also talking about investing in team. And when I step back to the big thing, when I talk about being prepared to invest, what I mean is if you are not growing at the rate you want to grow, if what you are doing presently isn't working, if you need more, better results than what you're getting now, if you do not have the time to execute all of the things that you know are necessary, not everything we do is necessary in your business, then what other choice do you have other than to invest? So again, time in mentorship, whatever that looks like. And what I see between the people who are successful and the people who aren't is the people who are successful look at the dividends and the long-term return on whatever it is on their time. So they know that I am going to be working 3 nights per week. Usually we'll set really tight containers around that time. And I know that once I have this specific task, goal, etc. done, then I can check that off the list, right? They know that if they continue to say, I'm still getting the same, whatever, financial revenue that I was, or I'm continue to not meet my launch goals, there is really no other option. If I can't see the wood for the trees on my own stuff, and I'm the same, I can never see the wood for the trees on my own stuff, then I really need to invest and put in some effort to get the results that I want. So the people who I work with who would get the best results are like, right, it's not a question of this isn't working, I'm going to like keep doing the same thing and get a different result. They're like, what do I need in order to get a better result? This is the hurdle. This is a specific hurdle I'm coming up against. Right, let's make some changes and get this working again. And because they know the long-term benefit of what would happen when they do that, and they're looking at the future dividends. So not just the immediate return, but in 1 year's time, 6 months' time, whatever it is, this is the return that I'm going to get from that time, from that advertising, from hiring a virtual assistant, whatever that might be. The next thing that they do, and I honestly, this seems ridiculously simple, but I see a radical difference in the industry between the people who do this and the people who don't. Number 2 is the people who are the most successful are the people who take action, right? They decide that they want to do something and they are dog with a bone at getting it. They decide that they want to grow their business, or they decide this is the goal I want. I want a $10,000 or $20,000 launch. Right, dog with a bone. What do I need to do to get there? And they take action. They show up on social media. They work really hard at looking at the data and what that's telling them. What are their best successful posts? What needs to happen? And they
go at it. They tell people about it. They show up constantly on the Instagram stories versus there are people who maybe you're one of them, and this is no shade to you whatsoever, but they'll say, okay, I want to create an online course, but 3 years later, it just still hasn't been created. Doesn't even matter if it's this, you create it and it's the scrappiest online course ever. People who say they're going to do it, do it. They're the people who I say to them, you really need to show up on social media consistently in order to build trust, conversions, and audience. And there are people who are like, I just can't make it happen. And I completely understand social media feeling really hard. And also, I completely see you in the juggle of trying to serve clients at the same time as possibly having a 9 to 5, at the same time as possibly having children. And so the question becomes, how do I make this happen, even though I have all these things in my life? And stepping away from everything needing to be perfect and super well executed right from the start and saying, okay, what does it look like to start messy, get in the flow, get better as I go? What do I need to learn? How can I incorporate this into my daily routine? But there is a big difference between the people who are like, I want to do this, and the people who are like, I'm doing it. Number three is they pivot and are willing to pivot. So they are not so fixed in all of their plans. This could even extend to being mid launch and deciding, right, this is not working. What do I do now? Rather than sitting in it and then waiting for the next launch, they're prepared to pivot. When we look at maybe their offers, and maybe they have a like low cost membership and they're struggling to with the churn rate of that membership, and we look back and we're like, well, okay, based on circumstances, there's nothing we can do to shift and change that churn rate. So what would it look like, for example, to switch that to a little online course that's going to have a higher revenue per client? It's going to be easier to sell. What's that going to look like? And when we have clients who are willing to take on that feedback and say, okay, how is this possible and how can I do that? That's when we start to have really great results versus when there's just no scope to pivot and they're not open to any coaching advice. When I say, for example, you need to start a long form content source, maybe it's a podcast, blog, YouTube channel, and they're like, no, I just do Instagram. And that can be really hard if someone's not prepared to pivot to make changes that could really make a big impact on their business. Number four, again, this would seem like something that is so ridiculously simple, but many people actually don't do. And I think there's a big fear piece around it. But the people who see really big and fast growth are the people who use what's available to them. So I'll tell you in a few ways exactly what I mean. So, Well Conceived Mastermind, and if you have not heard, we're literally about to close applications for the next round of the Well Conceived Mastermind. If you're like, what is this? I have not heard about it. It's a 6 month high touch program with me to help health and wellness practitioners who have had some success but are really ready to step on the gas and get their funnels, their programs, their growth on tap so that they can scale to 20, 30, 50K months with so much more ease. And I promise it is so possible. The only criteria at this point to join, well, you have to be a health and wellness practitioner. So whether you're a life coach, a dietitian, an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, so welcome. But we just don't want like Instagram coaches and e-commerce providers within the mastermind because then it waters down the specificity that I can give to the results. But the other criteria that we have, it's a totally new criteria, is that we want you to be making approximately $20,000 plus in your business, right up to 250,000 annual revenue in your business. And that just allows us again to be really specific and incredibly valuable and impactful in the advice and support that we give. So the applications are currently open just for a few more days. If you're like, what is this? I need to know, head to launcheasylife.com/mastermind or just reach out to me on Instagram at Robyn Birkin and be like, hey, talk to me about the mastermind. I'll send you through all of the details. We can have a chat, see whether it's the right thing for you. You can peep everything that's included and exactly how this might impact your business. But if you are really looking to amplify the results that you're getting in your business, whether it's one-to-one services, adding new products and a really sophisticated offer suite, or really just skyrocketing the leads that you're getting and the people who are investing in your courses and services, hey, we can have a chat. But this is what I'm specifically talking about. So we have the Well Conceived Mastermind, and part of what we include in that is daily coaching through Slack. We also, so you can once a day ask me a question. And I posted just on Instagram a few days ago, like, what are the types of questions that people ask? And the questions people ask could be, hey, a mid launch, it's not going to plan, help me pivot. And I will go through and be like, okay, this is what we're going to do. On day 4, we're going to do this. Day 5, we're going to do this. Day 7, we're going to do this, and see if we can either get better data, but also see if we can really improve the results we're getting. And this is maybe why that's happening. They can say, help me, like I need to really refine this offer and the messaging around this offer so that I can make more sales. Help me brainstorm webinar titles. I've just had a discovery call and this is the question I've been asked. How do I convert this client? Whatever that might look like. The people who are successful in these coaching containers with me are the people who ask the questions. They're the people who show up to all of the calls and prioritize it as best they can in their diary. Like I'm part of a mastermind as well. I have had just one of my calls recently where I've been like muting myself and switching my camera off and had like my kid on my lap brushing my hair, but I'm still showing up to the call. I have had discovery calls with clients and I've been like, just sorry, but just so you know, I don't have childcare at the moment. So my kids may be on the discovery call. They use what's available to them and they show up anyway. So often we can, number one, join containers. Just joining a container, just paying money for whatever it is, just paying money for a VA doesn't guarantee that you will get the results. You have to actually show up and put in the work and you have to use that container, right? You have to show up to the mastermind calls, ask the questions in Slack and not get like psyched out that you're in the wrong place. Am I asking the wrong question? Is it me? No, ask those questions and soak up every little part of the experience that you have paid for, right? If you are on Instagram and a podcast, amplify those, optimize those, do what you can to ensure that the things that you have that are available to you are at optimum like levels. If you have a VA already, what can you do to ensure that your virtual assistant is getting the best results possible for your business? The people who are the most successful are using the support and the tools that are available to them and soaking up all the juice that they can out of those things. Now, the very last one is I've got one word, but I need to dive into it just a little bit more. Is the people who have the best results are resilient. And if I dive into that just a little bit more, what I mean is they're not taking one flop or one failure as meaning anything about them. They're looking at the data and saying, okay, here's where I can improve next time. So, number one, they're data driven, like they're not taking it personally and they're looking at the data and saying, right, this is objectively what needs to happen in order for me to shift and change the results that I'm getting. And they're willing to keep going. They're not going to just wait around and wait around for the next time or keep doing something that's not working. They're going to look at the data, they're going to get back up, they're going to launch new offers, they're going to test and tweak new offers, and they're going to say, okay, that didn't work or this needs to change. And they are so ready to make the changes to get the results that they want. So these are the 5 things that my most successful clients have in common. And by most successful, I also mean the people who get the fastest results. Number 1, they are prepared to invest. Number 2, they take action. They're like a dog with a bone. They're not, I wanna, they're, I'm doing it, right? Whether it's scrappy, not perfect, they're doing the things. They pivot when they need to and they're open minded with the feedback that they receive, knowing that it's always in their best interests. They use what's available to them. So if you have deliverables in your coaching experience, if you have things that you've already paid for, they're using it, right? They're using the things that they have to their full potential. And they're resilient and data driven. They're not taking their results personally. They're looking at it with objective eyes and looking at the secrets that the data is telling them, even if that means that I'm supporting them in interpreting the data and seeing what those secrets are. I would love to invite you to join the Well Conceived Mastermind. It is a high touch coaching container for health and wellness practitioners who are earning $20,000 right up to $250,000 and ready for that next level. If you would like to know more, DM me on Instagram, Mastermind. There is just a few days left to join our next cohort, which begins in March. And quite honestly, it's like nothing else that exists on the market. It is just for health and wellness practitioners, which means that all of the advice is so ridiculously relevant. It's like supercharging your business in a coaching container. And the other thing that I wanted to speak to is that so many people who are applying for the Well Conceived Mastermind are telling me that they so deeply want the strategy work and the high touch feedback that is included within the Well Conceived Mastermind rather than fluffy coaching containers that just have like hot seat calls or vibes only, like mindset based stuff. People are wanting the how to, which is what we deliver in the Well Conceived Mastermind. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I cannot wait to chat to you next week. Bye for now.
We are done with the meat and potatoes of this episode, but I am not letting you go just yet, my friend. Before you jump off, I have 3 quick things that I would love to share with you. Number 1 is thank you so much for listening today. If you'd like to hear more about growing your visibility through Instagram, podcasting, or Pinterest, creating or launching or growing your signature program, automations, or many more online business nuggets of gold, pause now, hit that subscribe button because we are here for you weekly. Number 2 is if you would like to learn more about working with us and joining our signature program, the Well Conceived Mastermind, which is unlike any mastermind you've seen before, check out our show notes below and you will find all the links to join the waitlist or sign up and join the mastermind now. And number 3, lastly, if you do nothing else, make sure you come and find us on Instagram for daily behind the scenes and hugely savable and value-packed content. You will find us at Launch Easy Live. Well, that's it from me today. Now go out there and create your well-paid business and your well-lived life.